Sami Al-Arian is the director of the Center for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. He joins us now for more analysis on this. So we've heard in the last 24 hours or so conflicting statements from different sides of this. US officials saying that Iran's nuclear sites were obliterated. And we're hearing from Iranian leaders a completely different story, that this was a victory for Iran. Where do you see things standing, and what do you expect to happen from here?
Well, if we look at the Israeli and American statements from the very beginning, when Iran was hit on June 13th by the surprise Israeli attacks, the goals were very clear. They wanted regime change. They went after military and political leaders, as well as nuclear scientists. They were trying to basically create chaos inside the country in order to, and called actually for an uprising. Of course, all of that failed. They were hoping that there will be total chaos where the Iranians would be paralyzed and unable to respond. That also failed. The Iranians were able to actually reconstruct their leadership, particularly on the military side. They were able to respond relatively quick, within a day, and they were lobbying the Israeli cities with attacks and destruction unheard of since the creation of the state. They were not able to attack the Iranian nuclear facilities to the point they will be totally destroyed, despite what the Americans are saying. Most experts, although no one really knows for sure, because no one can even get to these facilities, but by all accounts, the enriched uranium have been transported, have been taken out of these facilities days before the attacks, and that the know-how cannot be taken away. The know-how of what the scientists know and how to get there is already there. At best, most experts say that they may have delayed whatever the nuclear cycle is by a few months or possibly a year. And that's not obviously the objective of the attack. On the other hand, the ballistic missiles seem to be untouched. They were able to show their superior technology when it comes to ballistic missiles. Over a third of Tel Aviv has been hit hard, as well as other coastal areas like Haifa and Tel Aviv and so on and so forth. And on the issue of regime change, I think that failed miserably as well.
Yep. I just want to ask you as well about the story that's come out of the Israeli media on from soldiers who have said that they have had specific orders from their superiors to shoot at Palestinians who are arriving at aid centers for critical aid. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, this is another war crime. I mean, the Israelis have not left any war crime untouched. They have been able to surprise the whole world with their callous behavior. We're talking about every major war crime in the book has been committed by the most immoral army, the Israeli army. And now the fact that some of their soldiers are coming to talk about it, obviously, is another revelation, another indication, another evidence of the type of war crimes that have been committed. The problem here is that this Zionist army dehumanizes the Palestinians to the point that most soldiers do not look at them as human beings, and therefore they are willing to commit whatever war crimes, whatever orders they get. It's the same way that the Nazis were doing to their victims, including Jewish victims during World War II. The point here is that this war must stop, must end. And what Netanyahu is doing is trying to prolong this war, is trying to get what he considers as absolute or total victory, which is delusional, because that's not going to happen. And all what he's doing is prolonging this time and this war. And of course, with that, the thousands of Palestinian victims.
Well, the military prosecution in Israel, according to these reports, is in fact calling for a review into possible war crimes. And it has also been reported before that there is a lot of anger within the Israeli military among a number of serving personnel at the direction that Israel has taken in this war on Gaza. How do you respond to that?
The Israeli army is the perpetrator of these war crimes. it is laughable that it's going to investigate itself and somehow get to the bottom of what kind of war crimes they have been committing. This is not something that is an aberration. This is not something that just happened, sporadically. This is something that's been done consistently and persistently for 21 months. So any indication that the Israeli army is investigating itself is farce, is fake, is not true. It is just an attempt to deviate from the attention of the world that they need to hold the Israeli army and the Israeli regime accountable to their war crimes. So, I don't take it seriously. I don't think there has ever been an evidence or an incident in which the Israeli army finds itself complicit or violating the rules of war. We have to understand that what Israel is trying to do is trying to reestablish itself as the hegemon in the region. That's why they don't want to stop this war, because they couldn't defeat the resistance, and they can't become the hegemon in the region. And that's why they have been lashing out at all the neighbors, at Lebanon, at Syria, at Iraq, at Yemen, at Iran, and now, of course, the Palestinians, that they have been failing to bring them to heels. And that's what he keeps talking about. That's what Netanyahu keeps talking about. He wants to bring the Palestinians to their heels, to have his total victory, absolute victory, total surrender. None of that is forthcoming, because he wants to reestablish Israel as the club that can beat all of its enemies combined, and to rewrite the rules of war or the rules of engagement that have been the standards that have been in the region for many decades. And that's not happening, and that's why they're very frustrated, and they commit genocide and war crimes.
Good to talk to you, Sami Al-Arian. Thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.